This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the CEO of Magna Gold, a company I am excited to tell you about, Mr. Arturo Bonillas. Arturo, buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás?
Buenas tardes, Gerardo. Great to hear about you.
It is a pleasure to catch back up. You and I had the opportunity to talk last year at the Beaver Creek Precious Metals Conference. Full disclosure, I am biased. I participated in the financing when you were a capital pool company. I am excited to share this story with listeners and readers for several reasons. As you know, gold has risen some $70 in the past month to month and a half. Your track record, Arturo, is among the best in the business. And when I say that, what I mean is the last 5 projects, I believe, that you've had the good fortune of working on and developing have turned into mines and or have been bought out. You, of course, are the co-founder and former president of what was formerly Timmins Gold. I want to talk about Magna, the property, the goals. But before I get into that, it's very important to me that listeners and readers understand your track record and your background, because you bring nearly 4 decades of experience in the mining space. Can you talk about that a bit, Arturo? And don't be too humble.
Thank you, Gerardo. As I told you last time, I was born in a mining town, so that's why I like mining, and I've been involved in it all the time. Yes, briefly, I worked at the Cananea mining company up until 1988, and from then on, I moved on to work with a company called Minera Real de Ángeles, which was a subsidiary of Placer Dome in Frisco. And while there, I was in charge of new projects and exploration. So we developed the Mulatos project just now, Alamos Gold. That's in the late 80s. Mm-hmm. We took it from 0 to 750,000 ounces on a pre-feasibility study. And then, you saw what happened. The project was kept by Placer Dome, and they continued developing it until it became what is now Alamos Gold, a multi-million ounce deposit. While there, we developed the San Felipe mine. San Felipe is located in Baja California, an underground mine. We also took that from 0 to 500,000 ounces. The mine operated until it was depleted, operated for about 10 years. That was under Frisco. And while we were working for Real de Ángeles, we expanded the processing plant from a daily throughput of 15,000 to 20,000 tons per day of milling capacity at a very marginal extra cost. We utilized a different kind of crushers at the time, were very new in Mexico, so it was a success. Moving forward, in the early 2000s, we developed the early stages of the San Jose del Progreso mine with a company called Continuum Resources. We drilled it, and then the mine was sold to Fortuna Silver Mines, which is a great success now. Concurrently, we created 2 companies, Silvermex Resources, which we developed 5 properties in it, and that company was sold to First Majestic.
Correct.
And some of the properties in there are now with Silver One, and others are being operated by Silvermex, like La Guitarra. And then the latest was Timmins Gold. Timmins Gold, we developed it, built it, and operated it for 10 years. We generated a resource of 2.5 million ounces. We reached that point when we were at $1,500 an ounce of gold. And the we were able to extract, while I was there, 1.2 million ounces of gold, and the company did generate important cash flow. Then I retired.
And how long did that last? Because I know this story, Arturo.
Yeah, it lasted about a week. Yeah. But then we're here. So that's briefly our story, and not only mine but our team. And I'm very satisfied with it.
Excellent. You mentioned the team, and this is important. I rarely have the opportunity to speak with people that are 5 for their last 5 in taking projects from the exploration stage all the way to the producing stage. It's important to note that the team that you are now bringing with you to Magna Gold is the same team, I believe, that you've worked with for, I believe, over 2 decades. Is that correct, Arturo?
That is correct. Mostly all of them. There's of course there's new people that came in the group over the years, but we have created a very interesting work culture, and we like to get things off the ground quickly, and it's an interesting mixture of older and wiser with younger and smart. So we continue, and it is very important to be together again at the beginning of the Magna Gold, and we are all here.
Excellent. Let's talk about the flagship Mercedes project, because again, it's important to note that you have the same team that you've worked with for 20 years, and you're looking to execute the exact same business model that you've executed with this team, which is find low cost, high margin oxide gold ounces in Mexico. Is that correct in a nutshell? That's the game plan for Magna and Mercedes, correct?
That's correct. That's our model. It has worked before, and I think it's the correct one to use now. We want to, at the time we generate ounces, we want to extract and sell ounces and be self-sufficient, self-financed. So the Mercedes project is, we were very lucky to get it. It wasn't that easy because of most of the previous owners had died. So we had to put together a very intricate and complex work of to be able to set up all the claims together. Now we have assembled more than 1,500 hectares altogether. So the Mercedes project was a property that's been drilled in the past various times, a couple of times. It was drilled first in the late 90s and then in the early 2000s. And it's located in a very strategic area. I call it Land of Giants, because it's surrounded by the Mulatos project, for example, Alamos Gold.
Mm-hmm.
And not far from us is Agnico with La India. And it's the same vicinity, same type of geology, same type of mineralization. Past drilling indicated that mineralization begins at surface, and we have the reports and some of the samples of the old drilling, and we have configured a potential open pit that I think we will be able to configure well within the next 6 to 8 months. We're aiming our work towards that, and the idea would be to have a resource by the end of the year, and on the area called La Lamosa Hill, and be able to project a flow diagram from there, be able to see production in the not too far away. At the same time, we'd like to be able to indicate the potential for at least 1 million ounces in the ground that we've acquired. because you can actually see it on surface. So that's the plan. Mercedes is very well located. It's the highway goes through the property. The electric line goes through the property. There's towns very nearby, and camp will be easy. People will be camping in the nearby towns, and now we'll be able to communicate via Wi-Fi. Internet signal is very strong there, and added to our experience, we now have access to a lot of new technology. So that's the plan. I think that by the end of the year, what we want to do is have a resource, at least at the PA level, and also be able to show 5 potential areas for drilling. We will drill. The first phase will be drilling 2,000 meters, and by the end of the year, we want to finish at least 4,000 meters of drilling over an area that is about half a kilometer long. And also, we will do geology, surface sampling, geochem on approximately 500 hectares, which cover 5 additional targets. We have lately been finding out new information that new to us, that was produced in the past with various companies. Quite interesting, very interesting. We even found some geophysics done years ago, and that new information shows more and more interest. I'm very happy with this, and we will be announcing the start of the work program very soon, and we will keep investors informed as to our progress. And again, our targets would be to have a potential open pit heap leachable deposit there by year's end, at least at PA level.
Excellent, excellent. So you have the people, you have the experience, obviously, to do exactly what it is because that you say you're going to do, because you've done it multiple times with the same team. The share structure is excellent. You have 35.4 million shares, 35.6 fully diluted. You don't have any warrants. You've been able to raise capital in, frankly, what's been one of the most brutal bear markets in recent memory, and for a lot of people, period, right? And so you've been able to raise this capital without having to issue any warrants. You have a cash position, I believe, as of April 30th, 2019 of approximately 4.1 million. Can we talk about some of the major shareholders? You have some of the quote unquote smartest money in the business. U.S. global investors. I know Eric Sprott is in, Medalist Capital is in, I believe Jeff Phillips from Global Market Development is in there. You've also done a wonderful job of including newsletter writers, myself included. Mr. Nick Hodge is in there, and management and the board owns almost 19% of the stock, which again, I love seeing skin in the game. You obviously did not come out of retirement to fail on number 6. So I'm excited to tell the story. Can we talk a little bit about the shareholders? And, it's notable to me that the people you've allowed into Magna tend to be long-term supportive shareholders.
Yes, thank you. I think that the shareholders you mentioned are very, very important for us. Not only their participation, but also their if you could say, moral support or backup and credibility. They all trust us. Eric Sprott has been very good to us for many years, for example. So it is very important for us to produce results quickly and continue to have them as our shareholders and their support in the future. We do, as you mentioned, we do have $4.1 million in the bank, which is sufficient for us to cover a $1 million exploration program and probably 2 years of G&A. Our G&A, we will keep it very, very low. We want to be known as a very effective and efficient company, not overspending our money. And one adjustment to the numbers, the share structure, we run out of the gate here. We have 38.8 million shares outstanding, no warrants, and 200,000 options. And most of the management position is escrowed. So we're really into this. We're really very, very excited, and we want to. It would have been a shame if I would have let this go and the team go and not do this. So yeah, we're happy, and we're very happy that all the shareholders came in to support us.
Arturo, when you and I spoke last year, we talked about the incoming administration in Mexico and your high hopes for the fact that many from the private sector were migrating towards the government, specifically when it came to mining. And you thought that they would come in with a very practical and straightforward approach that really de-risked mining in Mexico. Now, I have heard conflicting accounts from people that are not informed as to what is going on, both on the local, or all three, the local, state, and the federal level. You're a resident of Hermosillo in Sonora. You've been in Mexico in the mining business for over 40 years. Tell me how the interactions have been with both the federal, state, and the local government there for you, and what do you think now?
Yes, we have had interactions with the new people, and they are fantastic. The Undersecretary of Mines and the General Director of Mines have been promoting Mexico. They went to PDAC this year. They went and had interviews with the Fraser Institute, and they are all over, not only the country, but sending good signals abroad. So we've had a very good interaction, and they understand mining, and they understand that we need investors in mining, and at state level the same. What's happened probably is that since we have a new regime, which is different in the forms and the ways of doing things than the previous ones, we've had a reduction in budget for government agencies, which is what has affected some of the work. However, it's adjustments that are going to help us, are going to help the country, because we had so many people in bureaucracy, and it's a cleanup. It's a transition year. We obtained the drill permits for Mercedes, for example, in record time. So we will continue in Magna Gold with our plan. There's nothing disturbing us or preventing us from continuing our work and reaching our targets. And we will wait. This year will be a transition year, but I think that we shouldn't have any problems in mining. And again, the private sector is very active in the mining sector in general.
Arturo, you're 5 for your last 5. You have a market cap approximately of, I want to say roughly about 12 million. A third of that is backed by cash as of April 30th, 2019. You have strong shareholders. You have a heck of an asset. The last thing that I want to ask you is, how many properties did you look at before you chose Mercedes? Because I know that you have a decade's worth of database in specifically that part of Mexico, central and northern Mexico. How many projects did you look at before settling on Mercedes?
Well, we have a database of 250 properties. However, that specific area, we've been looking at it for quite a long time now. The problem was that the claim owners and the claims themselves were pretty atomized, different owners for the different showings, mineralized showings that we have. Now we're able to put them together, and now it makes sense. And I really like that area. That area has a lot of future, as our neighboring companies show. So yes, I had been after this area. We have been after this area for at least 5 years. However, we continue to receive more offers. People knocking at our door. They know that we are serious. They know that we work hard, and we are effective, and we want to show that to our shareholders. That's something that it's top on our list. Show results, work, effectiveness, and most of all, to show ounces in the ground, economic ounces.
Well, I want to also commend you and your team because you're also very fair in the negotiations. I know that a lot of this land that was privately held for a long time, you did very well by those people. You were very transparent. They were compensated fairly and stand to benefit from any success that the company may have. So I think that's important to highlight as well, Arturo.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have to be fair with people and in a way that it doesn't make the properties unattractive for us. And we all work happy. The landowners, ourselves, and the local people. We hire local people. We're hiring already. And we like to bring benefits to the community.
Arturo, I can't wait to visit the property, to see the drills turning, and I can't wait for the first set of results. Again, 5 for 5, going for number 6 like Michael Jordan. I'm of Mexican descent, but I spent my childhood in Chicago, so I had to sneak a Michael Jordan reference in there.
Of course.
There you go. Arturo, thank you so much. I look forward to chatting again very, very soon.
Of course, you'll be very welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you again.